Woohoo! What's happening? Mic's on, check, yeah boy! Shit! Alright, welcome to another episode of Ahipara New Build. Alright, so we're actually going to start off with this wall right here. And what we're going to do here is we need to pack this wall out 45 mil. And the reason being is, we've got a thermally broken suite, right, which is a new, it's a new regulation that's come through, a new H1 regulation in New Zealand. And what happens is it makes all our aluminium, our suite, the thickness of our aluminium thicker throughout the whole house, right? Now we've got a double stacker slider here, which means the build out is bigger. Now, it would be alright if we were using it on a different cladding system, but we've got a span lock cladding system that goes on here, right? So the door actually gets pushed quite close to the outside of the frame right here. It sits about 5 mil in. So what that's going to do is that's going to prevent us from having any fixings in our timber jam, right? So I spoke with the joinery guy. I spoke with Fabiano, and the best option is to actually pack this wall out 45 so we can get good bearing point to hold this door in place. Otherwise, I mean, you can imagine, what do we got here? If we were to take away 45 mil, look, we would have probably, well, what would you have? 10 mil to fix through, and that 10 mil is going to be actually sticking past the frame for our jib and our architrave lining. So that's going to be our first task, is just to pack this wall out and actually get this door sitting in the correct spot. Yeah, what do you reckon, Fabester?
Smash it, baby.
Okay, so if we a bit of 4x2 at 4, 6, 18. Put up with every single day. Alright, we're back on site this morning. Fabio knows doing his job correctly. He doesn't like the broom anymore, he likes the vacuum. Hey, hey, bend over, boy. Cam's coming through. Just gonna have to we're reframing this opening to make allowances for the kitchen cabinetry that's coming through here. Just narrowing the size of this doorway, and we're also changing it to our slider door through here, barn door slider. So we're going to have to come through and put some nogs in up here, Cammy boy. Let's put some nogs in for our rail, just above there. And I'm going to finish packing this wall that I started about a week ago. But we're back in here now. And then Fabiano, he's just going to cut this bottom plate out, and we're going to start putting in some tile underlay to make sure that battery just die.
No, I was. Oh,
Oh, you're alright. No, you're all good. Yeah. And look at this. I just noticed this. Okay, so I've just gone through with Fabian and explained what we want to do with our tile underlay. It's a fibre cement board. That's sort of, we nail it every 100 centres all the way over the board, and it just gives a bit more structural stability for when the tiles go on and the waterproofing. But I'm just thinking ahead here. We've got a cavity slider that's here, right? And the door's opening this way. Now, with the tile and slate, or the tile underlay, I want it to finish halfway in between the door. So the cavity slide's coming through, which means it's going to be in the center of this wall line. And the reason I want that is because I want the carpet to come through and finish underneath the door, and then I want the tiles to come through and finish underneath the door. So when the door's closed, you can't see tiles on one side or carpet on the other. That makes sense. So it's gone through and we figured that out. Now another issue I've had in the past is when I go put the cavity slider in, sometimes the tiles or even the carpet, depending on how thick the underlay is, it's really hard to get the adjustment up high enough so that door isn't sliding on the carpet. So I'm actually going to bring the tile underlay through to the edge of this wall line, so we have that 6mm buffer to be able to play with. But now that we've sort of understood where our sheet's going, we'll just measure it, we'll put it in, and we'll nail it off. Pretty easy. Like this. Actually, it goes like that, doesn't it? And then another step up like that. 1773. It'll be 1778.
Yep. 17.
This is just going to be the full 1800 overall. 775, so if we just plus 50, it's going to be 425, so 825, so 820. Alright, so sort of finished all our door framing and stuff like that. Now Cam's coming through and we're going to start screwing off the windows, packing them out, screwing them off, making sure that they're nice and plumb, got straight jams all the way through. First thing we want to do is we want to check the heights. Like, they should be pretty good because we've been fiddling around with these for a long time, but we're just double checking with our laser, setting it up on the head, and getting them nice and perfect. I mean, a mil here or there is not too bad, so yeah, they come out perfect anyway because we set them in the right spot, but it's just good to double, triple check everything before you screw fucking shit off. No swearing. But yeah, now we're just going to go through, plumb this down, put packers in between, and then screw it off all the way around for our inspection. It's thirsty work. Hey. See how I got rid of that brace for you?
Yeah. And then I still want to come the other way.
You good?
Yeah, good.
You awkward? A little bit awkward?
Hey, yo, bastard.
Oh, what happened there? That wall hasn't been nailed off either. Okay, as I'm framing this out, I just want to be conscientious of the cables going through the nogs here, just around through. You can see I've got plenty of cables. You don't want to be freaking nailing through here and hitting one of the cables. And talking about that, I've got my flush boxes here that I need to pull out. Pull out. I need to pull the flush boxes again back flush with the front of our packing timbers. Now this one here, I've just got this, gonna move it over. And I also noticed that this here looks like it must be an external power point. So obviously I can't put the trade seal on the outside of the paper. I'll just put it on the inside and stick it through. I think the reason why the Sparky did that is because we didn't have the cladding on yet, and we sort of want to put it in the center of the cladding space. So we sort of need to calculate exactly where it goes. Fuck. I mean, I guess the PowerPoint needs to come out through here somewhere. And I'll just replicate the same height that this one's come out. So I'll measure up, and that was going to be the height that I need to take that one through to. That's dumb, eh? Okay, so I just realised, bit of a change of tack, that putting that flooring down, the tile underlay, can actually be checked at our post line. Our idea here is to really get everything done for our pre-line, so I've actually got Fabian going through, putting insulation in. Then I realised, look at this, the nog line for our nail line stops here, so I actually need to whack those nails out, put some nogs in, so we've got bearing points for the cladding on the outside before freaking old Fabian comes through with the mean installation. So I'm just going to whack these nails out, hopefully it doesn't damage the board on the other side. Now you notice I didn't go through and whack the pins back through. The reason being is they're actually on the inside lap of the board, so if I went to push that through, it will either bend or poke through the face of the board, so I'm just going to cut them off my nips. Not the pancakes! Fuck! Eggs, Benny and pancakes! Far out!
Oh.
Alrighty, insulation. Oh, don't we love it? Itchy eyes. Itchy eyes. Oh my itchy eyes. Okay, so we're going through and we're smashing out the ceiling insulation at the moment. We're using the Pink Bats insulation. It's a fiberglass insulation, and we actually have to put two frickin' layers in. One R3.6 layer and one R3.2. This is going to achieve an R rating, a rateable value of, what is it? R6.8. What a lovely. Fuck, we're out here on a Sunday. We're side to that. But anyway, this is just due to the new H1 standards. Normally we'd only go through and put an R3.6 or even an R3.2 in the ceiling, but we've got to put two layers in to get that higher thermal value in the house now. So it's a bit of a prick. The width of the insulation itself comes at around 430 mil. And that's to fit in between the standard truss spacings. Normally our trusses are spaced at 900, so the extra, well, hey, we got the, someone's stealing your tuck. Anyway, it's just so it gives a nice tight tuck in between the trusses, and we get a real good seal between the insulation and the truss. But anyway, let's go frickin' smash this out. We might even start to install some wall bats, but we'll see how we go. Alright, so we've freaking got all the ceiling insulation in besides that one little corner. We're missing a bag of each. That's because Fabian started eating it. But before I go and start sticking all the wall insulation in, I need to make sure that all my nogs are flush with the studs. My lintels, these are quite high area, well, areas that kind of cause issues when we're jibbing in sills like this. So I just go through with my hand and just sort of, well, my hand or my ruler or something like that. Just go through with my straight edge, just checking the studs, making sure there's no massive bows in any of them, which is pretty good. This is that J-frame, so check my studs and then I'll just go through and check my, just run some diagonals and stuff, like run it over. And then just go through and take the high spots off the studs. The nogs, sorry. Alright, so few key points when we're coming through straightening the walls. The most important parts are the bathrooms and the kitchen. We need to make sure that all our walls are plumb and straight put to the mill. You know, we obviously want to try and get everything to the mill, but those are the areas that we want to frickin' make sure that all our walls are dead straight. Now in the kitchen bench top is the one where we want to try and get the straightest line, which is roughly around 900 high. So what I normally do is I'll run a string line about 900 high and run it along the front face here and use dodgy blocks and try and get that point dead straight. So when the kitchen bench top goes in, mind you, we are having an island on this, but it still wants to be dead straight through there, so there's no scribing or wibbling or wobbling or shoveling. But yeah, and then of course obviously the bathrooms, especially in the shower areas where all the tiles are meeting, we need to make sure our walls are dead plumb. I can't stress that enough.
Like I'm all alone. Sometimes life just ain't enough. No matter what I do or where I go, it seems like I'm aiming far too low. You and I still have something. We still have somewhere to go, so why don't you come over?
Stop playing in the egg.
So why don't you come over?
Sticking out. Ooh, last piece, bro.
Why don't you come over?
Alright, so we actually freaking fast forward, we've got all the jib board up, and I sort of forgot to do a bit of a video on how to do the wall bats. So, the wall bats, similar to the roof bats, we want to make it sure that they're nice and snug in between the studs and the nogs. Nice and snug. We don't want it too tight, and we don't want any crunching of the, well, this is all perfect because Fabian did it, but we don't, oh Maui! We don't want any scrunching. We want it to be a nice tight fit, and we also don't want any gaps underneath here. That's going to just defeat the purpose of the installation itself. It's going to decrease the thermal value. And then also Cam's gone through and smashed out the window. So we screw these windows off at 450 centers, 2 screws all the way around. We pack, make sure these are nice, plumb and straight, very important. And then we go through, we stick a pef rod in. Pef rod goes in between the jam and the stud all the way around. And it's like an air seal, so if any moisture sort of hits it, it actually expands a little bit, I'm pretty sure. I can't quite remember the exact way it works, but it's pretty cool. And then we foam seal all the way around, so no air stopping any draft and all that sort of stuff. But hey, that's pre-line done, and just about post-line finished. Goes in. The heck? The 2 different sheets there, eh? Oh, what the hell? That's awkward. One's a cover sheet. We thought we'd fucking use it up. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate all the support. Make sure you subscribe and freaking do all the goodies. And yeah, see you on the next one when we freaking install all the chipboard. Woo!